here. Yeah, I'm Ryan. I'm your host tonight as Greg Farmer is not able to be here. I believe he had a power outage last minute,
Mm-hmm.
so I will be stepping in as the host of the lap down tonight. With me tonight, we've got Ty, we've got Jamie, and we got Tyler. So say hello, everybody, and yeah, we've got a busy week of news to unpack here after what
Yes, sir.
was
Yes,
a
sir.
fairly eventful day at Sonoma.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited about tonight. A lot of things going on. We got some legality stuff. We got some Cinderella stories. We got just world class dominations. We got some rookies running wild.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of good things cooking.
Yep.
And we're one race closer to Greg being in a Chase Elliott shirt, which I'm very excited for.
All right.
And a few races closer to me being in a banana suit.
Banana Man!
So yeah, we're gonna start off with some of the news that came out actually after Sonoma with the most recent lawsuit updates, which I feel like for me and a lot of other people, we're kind of getting tired of just lawsuit update and we got this injunction and this injunction and this injunction. But yeah, the courts have dismissed the most recent injunction by both 2311 and Front Row Motorsports, and I believe tomorrow morning they are set to lose their charters if the courts do not comply with their current and final injunction to either keep their charters, or they could also rule that to freeze the asset, to basically say that, hey, NASCAR, you can't go and sell this until after the lawsuit's done, even though they won't be able to utilize the charter. So again, the trial itself is set for December, so I feel like it would be very much not the right thing to do for NASCAR to sell that charter before we even know the results of the lawsuit. But what do you guys think?
Who wants to go first?
We'll let Ty go first.
I'm worried about 2311. I think they got a lot of issues to work out. There's a very, very real chance that those cars don't make a race. There's a chance those cars don't make a race. There's a chance that those drivers get poached from other teams. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's kind of exciting to see. I mean, it makes some pretty good, news TV, but I mean, 2311 poached Tyler Reddick from RCR, and now they're at risk of having their star driver poached from someone else. They could lose their charters. They could lose any opportunity to get them back. They've invested millions and millions and millions of dollars into this, and it's starting to head south pretty quick. If I'm an employee there, I'm worried. I'm worried about my job. I'm worried about everything around me falling apart, and it's not looking too good. But NASCAR itself has a problem, and it's revolving around these charters. There's too many lawsuits. Oh, well, this person has this, and I'm supposed to have that, and this person has this. I'm supposed to have that. Well, wait a minute. We can't have this. We can't have that. This charter system's, good for business, bad for everyone else.
All right, Jamie.
So I have a little bit of a different take on this. And 2025 has not been a good year for Michael Jordan in the court system. Not only is he doing this antitrust lawsuit against NASCAR, but it was reported back on June 14th that Esquinas or Esquinas, I don't know if that's a right pronunciation, but this company alleged that Michael Jordan ran up more than $1.2 million in golf gambling debts. And they recently just settled upon the debt at $300,000. So I have a hard time looking at this as just a NASCAR issue. I think this is a Michael Jordan issue. Trying to get some monies back, trying to leverage his weight around. And it's not a good fit for NASCAR. It's not a good look. As Ty had spoke, there's a lot of repercussions that can go with this, from Justin Haley not making races to Tyler Reddick going to a Gibbs, going to a mainstream team, to Bubba Wallace potentially getting poached to go to another team because they don't want to run the risk of not being able to make a race due to performance if it happens to go there, whether it be a crash during qualifying or anything like that. Now I'm saying all this because these are very obscure, very like if it very shock factor, like if it actually ever happened, like holy crap, but it opens the door of possibility. Go ahead, Ryan.
I heard you say Justin Haley would miss a race. I think you meant to say Riley Herbst in there.
Riley Herbst, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I was like, okay, I didn't think Spire was part of this.
No, I was looking at stats, and I meant to say Riley Herbst, but I was looking at the word Justin Haley, so that was
yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing I think that when it comes to cars qualifying is that until last weekend's race at Chicago street course, we hadn't really seen any field outside of the Daytona 500 really get over 40 cars. So I don't know if, maybe all the Chevy teams start absolutely piling up entries to try and bump out the Ford and Toyota Open teams now. But outside of that, I don't really see a world where you see too many above 40 cars entering.
Other than the Daytona 500, maybe Atlanta or Talladega.
Well, yeah, and again, those would be post lawsuit. Yeah, at this point. But Tyler, go ahead and give your thoughts.
Now, my personal opinion on this is like the fact that I see it's very bad for both. It's very bad for Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. It actually turns Denny Hamlin's already rough reputation worse, especially with the lawsuit against NASCAR with his team. Losing his team, his reputation goes in the gutter. Way worse than it is right now.
Although I feel like I see more people rooting for the teams to win than rooting for NASCAR.
Right. I agree. I actually am with the fans. I'm with the teams on this. But I'm looking at it as the owner. I'm looking at it from the owner aspect. Not only is Denny going to be losing it on millions, Michael Jordan's going to be losing out on millions. Bob Jenkins is going to lose out on millions. Tyler Reddick, Bubba, and Riley are going to lose out on money and possibly their rides. Riley Herbst might be out of a ride completely, going back down to probably the Xfinity or something like that, because I don't think any team's going to grab him. And then you've got Bubba and Tyler Reddick, who might be poached to go to like a feeder team of Toyota, or maybe a Chevy team picks them up. But then you got Zane Smith, Noah Gragson, and Todd Gilliland, who really don't have anywhere to go if they were to lose their charters and lose their rides. That's the three drivers I'm actually more worried about, because they're solid. Noah Gregson's not having a great year, but Zane Smith and Todd Gilliland are having all right. Solid, but not like great years. But most of the top teams are already full. It's literally like about losing money and possibly losing rides because NASCAR wants to get rid of their charters.
I think that's something that kind of caught me by surprise with this newest preliminary injunction, or this newest thing that the team has thrown out there that is currently being heard by the courts today. which is the fact that that NASCAR supposedly told them, that they are that they've got buyers lined up for those charters.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of
And I already
thought the
know.
whole point of holding these charters away was that NASCAR was trying to reduce the number of chartered teams and was only planning on going with 32 charters going forward, which if they're planning on selling those additional charters, then that would be back up to the 36 charters, which would not be in line with what NASCAR had said previously.
And there's one possible buyer I know of for a fact.
I can think of at least 3 or 4 possible buyers right off the top of my head. I mean,
RFK. Well, no, maybe
RFK, Rick Ware, the new Rick Ware owner has expressed interest in becoming a 3-car team.
And Legacy.
Johnson has sounded confident that Legacy will have a 3rd charter for next year.
I'd love to see RCR get a charter.
They
need to get their 2 cars where they need to go before they start going to a 3rd.
I love Dylan, but I think he needs to
go. Because I don't want to see them expand to a 3rd and have it be, have it just be Hill 3 situation. Cars running 20th to 25th each week.
Now, actually, before we move on, I actually just thought about this in my head. What if RCR gets that 3rd charter and pulls Tyler Reddick back?
Jamie?
I mean, that's definitely a possibility. That would be a good callback. Kind of go back to what you know kind of thing. But at the same time, like, NASCAR saying that they already got buyers for the charters, like, such a general statement. Like, yeah, you could easily, like you said, like, easily think of like 3 to 5 different teams that would be open for charter purchases. But on the flip side, they could just be doing the old blind hand call. Like, you don't know what I have underneath this hand. We could have buyers. We could not have buyers, but I'm going to tell you that I have buyers.
Is the team's going to call their bluff?
Well, and that's the other thing, because that quote is coming from the teams. I haven't heard NASCAR either confirm or deny those quotes, which I could also see that being a play by the team.
Smile
like, oh, look, see, they're already shopping our charters. We don't want to lose our charters before we've even gotten the chance to go to court.
Right.
Right, but think about it. Hold on, think about it. If someone's lined up for those charters, who would be lined up for those charters? Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Don't get me wrong. I'd lose my shit if Dale Jr. got a charter, but I don't think it's very unlikely. It's already gonna be a current team. I have a feeling.
Yeah, but if they're already giving up those charters, if they're already lined up to buy those charters, though that price point may be lower because they're getting pulled from a different team. It may not be $55-60 million charter. It may be down in that range where he wanted that, like that 40 million, 35 million spot.
And you can't say that
be possible.
You can't say that you wouldn't give Dale Earnhardt Jr. a little bit of a discount because of the name brand, because of the amount of money that NASCAR will pull.
Junior Motorsports and Cup, dude, that sounds so
fantastic. And if we're looking at a fantasy world of this, Tyler Reddick being the first and only driver of Junior Motorsports.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting.
I might become a Tyler Reddick fan if that happens.
It's exciting to think about.
But
again, all this stuff is exciting.
But the thing is what number would they bring, though? Because the 8 and the 88 are already taken.
Yeah, but you got to think that, Richard Childress might just go, okay, you know what, Junior, you can have this. Or maybe Junior really does want to run the 40. Maybe he wants to run one of them classic numbers that we haven't seen in a while. He ran the 40. Oh, that was pretty cool. We like seeing that. But I mean, who knows?
I have a funny idea. Add salt to Teresa's wound and bring back the old DEI style 8.
You would bring back so many fans. Everyone would be up in arms.
100%.
Tyler.
Lay off the nose, Daddy, buddy. But before we get too far off into
I got a little tie.
kind of the thing I've had on my mind basically ever since this lawsuit started and NASCAR kind of started talking about getting rid of the charters. I almost saw it as kind of the first step towards the thing that I feel like the fans have been clamoring for, which is getting rid of the charters entirely. I mean, if you get rid of these 6 charters here and just have them go poof and operate with 32 charters going forward, I mean, that's the first step towards opening it back up where open teams can actually compete and start finding some footing, and you can
Provisionals.
start making progress towards potentially not having a charter system, say 15 years down the line, rather than trying to
Like they did pre-20. I think was it 2016 when they first did the charters, or was it 2015?
Yeah, 2016 was when they first allocated the charters.
I have to go back to like the pre-2016 where they had the owner points, the first 36 or first, I think, top 30 or something like that, and points was locked in, and then you had the provisionals from past winners and past championships, and then the rest had to race in.
Yeah, and again, because I've had that in my mind, I find it weird that they would be all of a sudden looking to shop those charters. So I'm not sure how much validity it has versus it's just the team saying something to try and make an argument, because if they don't make an argument now, they will lose the ability to use their charters for the remainder of the year and could potentially see them getting sold. But again, I would kind of pump a little bit of brakes on that. But again,
Yeah, but I mean, there's
still
plenty of
rolling up to
teams.
December.
There's plenty of teams that could be in NASCAR here. Hey, if this happens, hey, come, let us know. We'll jump right in on that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of opportunity.
Teams like Tricon Garage and shit like that could buy charters and stuff like that.
Well,
That's
but
just
again,
theoretical.
I think it's a more interesting Cup Series if you just have if you're opening up the ecosystem to more than just 3 or 4 open cars being able to find their way onto the grid. I mean, if you have it to where there's potentially room for upwards of almost 8 open cars being able to race their way onto the grid.
That'd be kind of cool.
Imagine how
actually.
exciting the Daytona duels next year would be if we have, say, 6 less chartered cars and we have 30 or 32 cars locked in, and then we've got and then we've got 8 to 10 open cars racing their way in,
and 2 are going home.
Exactly. I mean, that's a lot of different cars going with a lot of different agendas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's disputing with Ryan saying that that it wouldn't be great for viewership, wouldn't be great for the overall outlook of like getting eyes on NASCAR and making it more competitive in that aspect. But I don't know. It's one of those things where kind of like how you started the whole call off. I'm tired of talking about 2311 and the lawsuit with NASCAR. It's been going on for ages. It's like a 12-hour wrestling program. The first 3 hours you're like, oh, this is getting pretty good, and then as time goes on, you're just like, I'm just ready for you to just get pinned and get on with it.
Hit him with the chair. Let us be done with it.
Like, that's the thing. We're still 6 months away from December, and we're 6 months away from a resolution. Yeah, I mean, there will be maybe a couple of other things, but I really feel like we've kind of exhausted almost every possible injunction, every possible angle for the teams. And I think after this current injunction and whether or not they keep their charters tomorrow, I think we're gonna hopefully see the lawsuit kind of quiet down until they start getting to the point where they're actually in a courtroom in December. But
yeah, for sure.
But I think we're all ready to start moving on from that, and let's go right into talking about the Final Four. As we had a couple of surprising drivers making it into the Elite Eight, including some interesting matchups like both Legacy Motor Club cars going up against each other, and the continued Cinderella story of Ty Dillon going ahead and getting himself into the Final Four, upsetting who did he upset this week? Was it
Alex
Bowman?
Yeah, Alex Bowman, who his most recent race win is on a road course, and say Ty Dillon able to judge his way through that one and manages to make the pass in the final corner to win that one over Bowman. So, what do you guys think of that move at the very end?
Let's go with Tyler first. We'll save Ty for last because he's chomping at the bit, so we'll make him wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought the move was a pretty good move. It was good, hard racing. He didn't move him out of the way like somebody else did. Cough, cough, Josh Berry. Anyway, but it was a good, hard move. It came down to the wire, and it was a well-deserved round win for Ty Dillon.
As for me, I going into the whole tournament, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to feel about it. Especially after how Atlanta shaped up, I really didn't know how I was going to feel about it. But when we're looking at the past two races, both in road courses, very often road course racing, unless you see the front two, it is a flat out snooze fest when it comes to viewership. The bracket, the drivers racing each other for $1 million, having these different storylines, especially for road course racing, kept it very interesting for me. Mm-hmm. And seeing what drivers are willing to do in a regular season race to have a sniff of a chance at $1 million is awesome to see. That they're not ready to just run their race and just call it a day. Like, they're getting aggressive because they see that guy that is right in front of them that they're competing against and that is in their way of $1 million. And that's how they're looking at it. I think back to Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman. They ran each other hard, and they were literally beating the brakes off each other, trying to make sure that they finished in front of each other. Ty Dillon and Alex Bowman the next week. It's the same concept. And I like that for a smaller team like Ty Dillon, they're like, hey, this is our Super Bowl. This is our playoff run. We may not get a race win this year, but we're going to make sure that we're going to give it our best to get that $1 million. And if that happens, it's going to be the Million Dillon or Dillon Million. That's what it's going to be referred to.
He'll be the better Dillon brother. He'll have the bragging
He already
rights.
is.
He'll be the richer one, that's for sure.
Well, the richer one is their grandfather.
That's
the Richard one. Sorry, my bad.
That was good, Ryan. Actually, that was pretty good.
I just caught on to it. Look at you. Look at you. All right, Ryan,
Ty Dillon's winning at life. Ty Dillon's winning at life, man. That's all I can say.
He's on cloud 9.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed the Elite Eight at Sonoma because I feel like really up until I think Zane Smith fell back near the end of the race, but really I don't think any of I think coming down to the last 20 laps, I think all 4 were still very much up for contention, including 2 of them were up for contention in the final feet of the race. I mean, to have to stay in it all day and have it be that close for that long, I mean, I think it provided absolutely the entertainment value that NASCAR wanted out of it and that the fans should have been hoping for. Because I saw a lot of fans who were kind of deflated about it after the all the brackets got busted with Atlanta. But honestly, I've loved seeing some of the storylines, like the legacy versus legacy battle, the Cinderella story of Ty Dillon making his run through it, seeing some of the drivers who weren't able to sneak their way through, like Larson not being able to best Reddick. I believe that was in round 1 that those two got matched up against each other. But yeah, I mean, we've got some great storylines all across the bracket, and I can't wait for this Final Four at Dover. And Ty, you want to go ahead and talk about your guy?
Go ahead, Ty.
I was going to go ahead and cut a promo. I was going to cut a wrestling promo and get all hyped up, but I'll start kind of slow. We're getting in 6 to go, 5 to go. We hit that restart, and I'm scanning the side of the TV, trying to make sure that I see, okay, where's Ty? Where's Bowman? How far back are they? Oh, okay. He's ahead of him by half a second. Okay, cool, great. We're good. We're good. We're good. Going in the final lap. Oh no. Come on. I'm sitting there, just like a Ty Dillon fan would. I am freaking out. I'm huffing and puffing. I'm like, oh my god. I'm just freaking out. Then I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm like, well, why didn't they show anything? What is going on? What happened? Then they cut to it, and I see it, and I see Ty Dillon behind Bowman. I see Ty Dillon ship Bowman, and I just start cheering and pumping, and I'm all just fired up, and I'm just. That's what this in-season tournament did. I don't know anybody else that feels the same way, but I can tell you that this was exciting. Ty Dillon doing this is exactly what they were hoping for, and this is what you love to see. I mean, you don't want to see just the same people. This is March Madness just in July. This is exciting. This is something new, and ride or die. Let's go with Ty. Like, come on, like everybody else needs to jump in on this, because do you really want to see the same old? Do you really want to see this kind of stuff more?
You don't see this every
mean,
year or every day.
You don't. I mean, we've been really blessed mid-season. I mean, Amazon Prime's coverage was great. TNT's bracket challenge is fantastic. Like, let's go. I'm excited. We're not usually this excited in July for NASCAR. June, July, we're not this excited. I mean, it may end up being, Ty Gibbs, or it may be Tyler Reddick, and in this Cinderella story may be over, but you never know. So let's enjoy it now. We have it now, and I'm more than excited to keep talking, but we'll just I'll save this. I got plenty of stuff to talk about.
All right, who wants to go first on their drivers?
Yeah, so
just
go ahead.
Just a preface, we spun a wheel before we started recording the podcast with the final four entrants for the $1 million. Now, the whole point of this segment is we are now going to we're going to have 1 minute to prove our point as to why our driver that was selected for us by the spinning wheel is going to win the $1 million. So
I will keep track of time.
Yep, and you can start first, Tyler, since you're your timekeeper.
Okay. Now I got John Hunter Nemechek. Now looking at his stats from Dover, he's actually pretty solid at Dover. I mean, he's only ran like 4 races at Dover in the Cup Series, but he has an average. Hold on. Oh, ready, go. 1 minute go. He has an average. He's up there. He's like a 15.5 average finish at Dover, and since 2022, because he actually started in 2020, but he's only run like 4 or 5 Dover races total. So 15.5 is not bad for a backmarker team, because he was back with Stewart Haas Racing back in 2020. But now, no, not Stewart Haas. He was with the Front Row Motorsports back in 2020. But John Hunter Nemechek's actually having a very good year for Legacy Motor Club. Well, Legacy Motor Club in general is having a great year, and I could see him actually advancing to the final round. And I don't know how good he's going to be at Indy, because he really doesn't have much stats at Indy. And I don't have anything else. And time.
All right, Ryan.
All right, so my driver, just for everybody listening, my driver was Ty Gibbs. So I didn't say Ty Gibbs. First off, he's the only powerhouse team left in the bracket challenge with a driver still in it. If you're looking at your big three, your Penske, your Hendrick, your
Joe Gibbs.
Penske, Gibbs, Hendrick. He's the only one of the big three that are still left. Although I think there is definitely I think his opponent is definitely going to be a formidable force, but realistically, I think if he can figure out a way to get around Reddick this weekend, I think the Joe Gibbs racing cars typically are really good at Indy. I mean, obviously Kyle Busch had plenty of stats to
10
back
seconds.
himself up. So
But Gibbs has a better overall average finish at Bristol at Dover than Tyler Reddick does by quite a bit and time.
So just for future reference, that way you don't throw them off, Tyler. Just kind of use hand signals for a time.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me get the time back up. Ready, go.
Go ahead, Ty.
I see that number. Ty has something to prove. He's been in multiple teams. He's been multiple places. He's up against a former team that he drove for. He has a chip on his shoulder, and he has more experience at Dover than John Herneycheck does. I would bet you that John Hunter's inexperience is going to get him into trouble during the race. I think that Ty is going to manage it very, very well, and he's going to get we'll say a 12th place finish. Just beating out John Hunter. Maybe John Hunter's in 18th, 17th, something in there, but he's just going to beat it. That close. What I'm excited about is next week. We're at Indy, and Ty has the most experience out of any of the drivers in the bracket. So when he moves on, then he's going to face whoever at Indy, and he's going to win the $1 million.
Time.
All right. So for me,
right,
I got
Jamie.
I got Tyler Reddick. So this is playing out perfectly because I talked about his Superman paint scheme, and this season he is NASCAR Superman ever since having that paint scheme. So, especially in a time for 23XI where they're in their darkest days, you need a light to shine through and make some money, and Tyler Reddick is that dude. Last year, if we're going by recency bias, Tyler Reddick finished 11th while leading some laps at Dover. And then you follow it up at the Brickyard 400 where he was the runner-up to Kyle Larson. It is lined up for Tyler Reddick to take the money, and we are going to have a $23-11 million team, which is going to be ironic, especially if they lose that charter.
Imagine if Tyler Reddick gets DNQ'd from one of the 2 races.
Oh, that would be terrible. That would be
What
terrible.
if he doesn't run the last race? What if Ty Dillon wins by default? Let's go.
All right. Before we move on, let's move on. I'm going to give you guys some stats for these 4 drivers at the next 2 race or next race at Dover. So actually, the highest overall average finish at Dover right now is Ty Gibbs at 11.5. He's had 2 races, which he has one it's not very good, but he has 1 top 10 and 2 top 20s. The next one is Tyler Reddick at 16 average finish. He's only run 3 races at Dover, and the same stats as Ty Gibbs. And then John Hunter Niebentik, his average is a 20, and he's had 4 races. He has had 4 races since 2020, and he's had 2 top 10s and 2 top 20s. Which I don't know how the average is to 20. Ty Dillon at Dover averaged a 31.5 average finish. But he does have he has 17 races at Dover. So that's his average. So his overall average finish, is 25.1 with he's had 2 top 10s, 2 top 5s, and 5 top 20s.
Experience.
All
right.
Experience.
All right. Now the moment we've been waiting for, Sonoma weekend race recap.
Yeah, so as we get into the Sonoma race, first off, who all was actually able to watch the NASCAR Xfinity Series race? Because obviously that's what
I caught the last few laps.
All right, yeah, I was able to watch a fair bit of it from the Yeah,
Battle Cam.
me and some coworkers, we went out for celebrating one of their 21st birthday, so I wasn't
Oh, that's
able to stay as connected to the race as I normally do, but I got to see that battle to the checkers, and yeah, let's just be honest. Connor Zillage versus SVG next year in Cup is going to be absolutely electric.
It's going to be 100%.
Yeah, and to see that they both gave a very high level, I feel, of respect to each other. Neither one was just flat out running each other off the course. SVG into that final corner could have shipped Zillage to win the race, but he showed the respect and ultimately throttled back and wasn't able to get the run off the corner. So, yeah, and Connor Zillage is the one and only driver who had anything for SVG this weekend, as that transition straight into the Cup race with Shane Van Gisbergen, and Shane Van Gisbergen.
97 of 110 laps. That's absolutely unheard of in the next gen era.
Including finishing second and first in the stages after making pit stops to forfeit stage points, which
he was going to forfeit stage points in the second stage, but still ended up catching Kyle Larson and winning the stage.
Yeah, and well, in stage one, he gave up the stage points by coming into the pits and
Bubba
drove his way right back up into second place.
Was it Chastain at stage one?
Or was it Bubba? Off the top of my head, and I don't have it right in front of me, but yeah, I mean,
I think it might have been. Yeah, Chastain won stage one, SVG won stage two, and then went on to lead 97 of 110. The last time somebody led that nearly that many laps.
Oh, 1 second. I didn't realize that SVG had the fastest lap of the day stolen from him, though. Justin Haley stealing the fastest lap award. Finishing 15th, but getting that fastest lap award away from SVG.
I figured Chase Elliott would have gotten it with how he was hauling ass.
But yeah, no, Justin Haley apparently got the fastest lap award.
But kudos, I have to give kudos though, like even though he hasn't won yet, give kudos to Alex Bowman. That's his fourth straight top 10 finish.
Huh?
Yeah, go figure. I make a bet against Alex Bowman, and then all of a sudden he just turns it around.
Since we got
every week.
Actually, yeah.
Bowman was 19th.
Oh.
Well, that's because he got some damage.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just curious as to where his fourth straight top 10 was.
Oh, I had a dawn moment. Anyway, but to continue on to SVG, the funny part is me and Tyler actually get to see SVG versus Zillage live in a few weeks at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, in the Xfinity Series race.
And I believe Zillage is running Cup, if I'm not mistaken, that week. If I don't,
that'll be a fun duel.
Hopefully the race is just as. Oh, go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
Let's not also overshadow William Sawalich. Like
that was a hell.
Yeah, he was right up there, mixing it up with SVG with Zillage, and
Jesse Love was up there too.
Yeah, especially towards the end of that race, it was a three-headed monster on who was going to get the better run, who was going to be the most opportunistic. And
maybe I just missed some of those points, but I remember almost any time I looked at the leaderboard,
I was just trying to be glib hope.
It was Zillage and SVG, and then like a 10 to 13 second gap back to the rest.
How big of a gap? How big of a gap did he get in a Cup this week?
At the cautions, that was when Sawalich was able to mix it up with them. He would hang with them for about 5-6 laps. Yeah. But
now
my favorite quotes from Connor Zillage, he was just like, man, it doesn't even seem like SVG was really trying. He makes it look so easy racing against him.
For real. Yep. Well, it also helps with being that the Australian V8 supercars are the NASCAR Deck Gen 7's really close in specs to a V8 supercar.
But to put some
with the sequential.
but to put some
Sorry,
facts
Jamie, I
into that
apologize.
statement, they were literally battling side by side in the race, and as they're going through the S's, SVG literally put a thumbs up out of his window net.
Yeah, I
Or-
saw that.
I'm like, how insane of a road course driver are you, where you're literally going side by side with the driver, and you're just like driving with one hand, like, "Hey, good job, you're doing good. All right, now I'm gonna
Yeah,
pass
I
you
mean, I
now."
could understand it if he was flipping them off like Kyle Busch or some of these other drivers tend to do.
Now let's get to
Nah.
the elephant in the room of this weekend. Josh Berry dumping Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that I've seen, at least on Twitter, talking about this instance. I see a lot of people supporting Josh Berry, mostly because they are not a fan of Hocevar and the way Hocevar has had it's felt like Hocevar has been owed some, but Berry has not been one of those drivers that Hocevar is wrong to the point where, I mean, this wasn't Berry getting even on Hocevar, at least not that I can remember of any recent incident.
Oh, he straight up dumped him.
Yeah, and I mean, I say if this was Stenhouse, you could at least justify. Well, he was at least getting even.
Speaking of Stenhouse, we could call him Ricky Spinhouse for that last spin with I think the last caution. It was the last caution, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Where they had to repair the tire barrier ABSs.
Yep.
I literally looked at the TV and says, "God damn it, Ricky."
Yep.
Oh shit! Sorry. I wasn't supposed to see GD. That I have to mute myself. I will be back.
Yeah, but yeah, when it comes to the race at Sonoma, though, I feel like we were gearing up for a really good run. Mike McDowell and Chase Elliott both on fresher tires, carving through the field. And if they had a few more laps on that final restart, I think they might have been able to get close. But ultimately, SVG ends up holding on through a barrage of cautions and manages to hold off any and all challenges from behind to win the race at Sonoma and win his third road course race of the year. And what really surprises me about a lot of this is the fact that SVG looked kind of pedestrian at Circuit of the Americas earlier this year. I mean, he was good, but not great. And then these last three races, he's been lights out better than almost every other driver on the track.
Except for Connor Zillage.
Yeah, well, I'm referring to the Cup races, but yeah.
Oh, I know.
So,
But
Ty, did you have any thoughts on that Cup race?
Yeah, I mean the Cup
or even the
is good.
Xfinity race. I think we kind of skipped over you when we were tying the Xfinity race too.
Oh yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
About Josh Berry, I'm not sure about Josh Berry having a racing incident with Carson Hocevar. I'm all for being quiet on the radio and making a racing mistake, but I think Josh Berry set the bar. Hey, that's that's the line of enough, and I'm going to show you my displeasure. But it's a racing incident, so there's nothing to talk about there. Xfinity race, since it got skipped, Tyler. Disappointed that Jesse Love had mechanical failure. It was out early. Connor Zillich and SVG put on a hell of a show. SVG knew that he kind of did Connor's a little bit dirty at Chicago, so racing him clean at the end was a nice little touch. I think Connor was going to win that race, barring some sort of move like SVG did at Chicago. But the Cup Series definitely has if Zillich is in Trackhouse next year for a Cup, they're going to have an SVG and the Connor Zillich problem on the road courses. I don't think anybody is going to be able to touch them next year on the road courses. I think they may go ahead and sweep all the road courses. But overall for the Cup weekend, I'd say that NASCAR really every week has something that's questionable as far as their cautions go. I mean, throwing some of the cautions early, just throwing them late. I mean, it's a little disappointing. I understand, having issues at the very end of the race as far as cautions breed cautions. I wish we could have saw them race a little bit more because those guys on fresher tires were really moving and they were really chugging along, and that would have been a hell of a show to see at the very end. And I just kind of felt like SPG deserved to win, but it was he could have worked for it a little bit harder, but overall it was a pretty good race. I'm excited to see how SVG does it, the end of the season, if he manages to sneak through to the second round of the playoffs and he's at the Charlotte Roval. I want to see how they really run at the Roval, because that might be a track where it's a little bit even of a playing field. So he might not be as strong there, but it's interesting to see, because you could have SVG winning in the second round and moving on in the playoffs, and we'll see. We'll see come playoffs time, but it's shaping up to be really interesting towards the end of the season.
Oh, 100%. Go ahead, Jamie.
Just a fun little stat line. If we're looking at the playoff bracket, SVG has catapulted himself up to third with 17
Yeah, they said that on the broadcast.
Yeah. Which
he could point his way. He might be able to point his way through.
Yeah, I mean, pointing his way through in that first round, though, is going to be tough, because if you look at the track selection, though, in that first round, you've got Darlington in the Southern 500. Trying to go all 500 miles at Darlington is not going to be an easy task.
You got Gateway,
a very flat oval. I think that one might play a little bit to his strengths. But then you've got a 500 lap race at Bristol, which is going to be another brutal test. So I think at least
Bristol
is
kind of
that's right. Really tough.
Ooh,
that was kind of
on
on premise, though, that SPG wins at Watkins Glen. I mean, SPG is on a tear right now, and he could have 4 wins going in the playoffs. And I mean, some of the drivers that are going to be at the very end of that playoff bracket might struggle that first round too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that he can't win his way through, or that he can't point his way through, especially in that first round. I'm just looking at it as I would not put it past him to be like, oh yeah, he's going to be completely immune to a early mistake at Darlington that would potentially cost him a lot of points. And then really, I think he'll have enough playoff points to survive one minor issue, but will he have enough playoff points to survive the major catastrophe if it does strike him at, say, Darlington or Bristol?
Yeah, that was going to be my point exactly, is he's got to run a perfect race. And for him, a perfect race is just staying out of trouble. And if he stays out of trouble, he may be able to point himself into the round of 12 and win at Glen, catapult him into the round of 6. And then from there, I don't see him progressing unless he gets a random, really good, fluky win at Dega. But I doubt that.
Jamie, it's the round of 16, 12, 8, and 4.
But so.
It
will be interesting to see how he does, though, when he has the playoff, when he's actually above a cut line for the first time in a while, rather than just below by way too much, below by way too much, below by way too much, win, win, win. And then suddenly he's locked in above the cut line.
Now, before we move on, I was actually been looking at a lot of the comments and stuff like that on like social media about SVG not deserving to be in the playoffs. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I understand he was like, what, 27th in points or something like that before his first win for the season?
He's still 26th in points after his third win.
But what I'm getting at is the fact that like everybody's discrediting it, not really counting it. It's like, oh, he's going to be a first round bust and all that. I'm not discrediting any of his wins. Those were hard fought,
Oh yeah, I mean he absolutely obliterated the field all 3 races that he won.
But people are saying that it's like wow, like they're saying that like it's crazy how people are feeling like he shouldn't be in the playoffs. Blah blah blah.
He's 30 points back from 20th place. We just had this conversation last week about, oh, what if they changed it to being within the top 25 in points to get into playoffs? He's 30 points from being in the top 20.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I'm
over the
certainly-
last couple of weeks, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Those wins have been phenomenal for him.
Yep.
Right. That's my thing. I get that like he's still down there in points, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, dude.
Yep. I mean, you want
Regardless
wins
of-
to matter, and as I say, winning matters.
Exactly.
And I'm certainly of the opinion. I think SVG has certainly proven that he belongs here.
Now, one last thing before we move on. If this wasn't a playoff format and this was the regular chase format pre-2014, do you think he would be able to get into the chase with his 3 wins?
So he'd need to be what? One of what?
12. Well, 12
Maybe.
or
For
13
points,
for
it was
for
points, right? Well, he's
points,
no.
Wasn't it 12th in points plus? Wasn't there one or
two,
no,
one
it
wild
was
card.
top 10 in
23rd.
points and 2 wild cards. I thought.
Yeah, that's right.
It might have been
Or-
14. Was it 14? I think it was
It was
14.
No, I think
12.
it went straight from 12 to 16 when they introduced the knockout round format.
in 2014.
And then there was
yes.
that random year where they threw Jeff Gordon in there in 2013.
because of Clint Boyer spin.
Are you
Yeah,
just
there was-
basically saying 10 race chase? Like if he did a 10 race chase,
Yeah, like back in the day, yes.
he wouldn't be in on points no matter what. He just
Yeah.
he's not that solid. Yeah, he's got those 3 wins, but he's not anywhere near good on points. I mean, in a 10 race chase, no, SVG's not in an old format. SVG's not
No.
anywhere near the top performers. Yeah, he's won 3 races, but he's not anywhere near the top performers as far as solid people. I mean, it's Hendrick. It's been Hendrick for the last couple of years as far as like solid on points consistency wise. I mean, the only surprise in there is Denny Hamlin missing a race and now, getting distracted with the whole 2311 stuff. But I mean, Hendrick's been, if we were doing a 10 race chase, Hendrick would be
Locked 1, 2, 3, 4.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, Bowman's struggling, but that William Byron, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, that's expected. That's very expected. I mean, it's just
Especially
how
the
it
way
is.
especially the way Chase has been performing the last few weeks.
Chase has been killing it the last 3 weeks.
Not since his win, I think it lit a fire under his ass.
Yeah, well, that's what he needs. He
Well,
needs that
alright.
momentum. He's a
honestly,
champion.
I think
Alright,
that's kind of the thing for Bowman. I mean, I was saying it before during Bowman's really cold streak. He just needed one good finish to kind of snap him out of it, and he's been solid since.
I think this is his worst finish in the last month and a half, I believe.
Yeah. And then
19th, I
one
believe.
other thing from the Cup race that we hadn't touched on yet. The Ty Gibbs and Brad Keselowski pit crew is getting into it on pit road
Oh,
after
yeah.
Ty Gibbs comes into the pit box. Yeah. Say, who wants to start it off on this
Beat him up!
one?
Beat him up!
All right, Tyler, go ahead and
I didn't really know what the fight was going on before, but I was literally screaming at the TV like a boxing match, like get him! I was literally cheering on it like it was a boxing match. I don't really have other words than that. Jamie,
I'm gonna be honest. I missed it. I didn't even see it.
all right. So for those of you guys who may have missed it, Ty Gibbs pulled into his pit box a little bit deeper than he had on the previous caution flag or during his previous pit stop running through Brett Keselowski's box, and came close to making contact with one of the crew members, and the crew member in fact reached his hand out as the car was coming close to try and protect himself. And then after that, the Keselowski and Ty Gibbs crews got to fighting on pit road over whether or not, because the Keselowski crew seemed to think that what Ty Gibbs had done was intentional to try and swipe through their pit box.
Gotcha.
Even though, as far as I know, he was within his rights. I mean, that's the pit box right before him, and Brad Keselowski was running behind him on track, so it was an open pit box to move through. I don't even know why the crew member was that far off of pit wall before Keselowski's even in his pit box. I mean, that to me screams over the wall too soon issue there.
That rule's not the same anymore. So I mean, they let you go over the wall, but you have to have that foot on the wall so you can get all set up.
Yep. I have that.
Were you done talking, Ryan?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So I missed it too, but so I listened to Kevin Harvick talk about it, and basically the way the pit crew set up now, they're pretty well prepared. The pit crew member had the tire sticking a little bit too far out, and I guess he had been doing that a couple of stops before, or maybe even during the season.
Pit stop before that, there was the
stage
1 pit stop, and then this was during the stage 2.
Okay, so Harvick basically said that back in the day, if he was having the same issue with the pit crew guys being out too far, or the driver that was before his pit stall going too deep into the stall, he would brush up against those pit crew members. So Brad might have had the same mentality of, well, what, that was intentional because that's what we used to do. It may not have been intentional, but the way that the pit crew member was set up, okay, mistakes happen, but you shouldn't be putting anybody's safety on the line like that. You shouldn't. Yeah. If that was intentional, that was a bit too far. So tempers flaring and them fighting, that for the safety reason of that, yeah. I mean, that's like a late hit on a quarterback in football. There's some things you just don't do. And if you put the pit crew in jeopardy like that, yeah, you're going to have an altercation like that. It hasn't happened in so long that it's kind of been out of sight, out of mind. But like those members are now already over the wall. They're already set up for the pit stop. They're in direct fire. So if someone spins out on pit road, there's potential to take out the crew members that are already over the wall. It's just a safety concern. If it was intentional, then yeah, it should get talked about. If it wasn't intentional, it should still get talked about how you're setting up. If you're putting yourself in harm's way, then obviously you need to make an adjustment because that's a safety concern. I'm just, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the reaction should have been as big as it was, but obviously in the heat of the moment, it's just like football. It's just like football game where the quarterback gets hit late. You're going to have that reaction. We saw that reaction. I'm fine with it. I'm viewing it as a football fan. They should be able to talk it out.
Or a dirty slide, or in baseball terms, to make a better thing, a late dirty slide where you take
or even throwing at the batter, throwing behind the batter. I mean, it's something like that. Hey, you're overstepping your boundary, and here you go.
Well, I just went and looked at the replay. The tire carrier that did almost get hit doesn't have any sort of body part touching the wall, and in fact, the tire is crossing the orange lines that indicate where the car theoretically would pull in for the pit stop.
All right, guys. Sorry to cut you guys short, but we need to move on to the next amendment because we're starting to run a little long on time.
All right. So next up, we got our green flags and black flags. Something you liked from the weekend, something you didn't like from the weekend. If you guys are new, yeah, that's what the green flags, black flag segment is. So, Jamie, you want to get us started off on this one?
Yeah. Green flag. I would say I was going to give it up to the bracket challenge for. And I kind of hinted on it earlier. Just making this race exciting for more than just watching SVG dominate. It gave us reasons to look at the race, to watch a race, to try to figure out where these drivers are that we may not necessarily have always been interested in remotely knowing where they are on track. True TV, their bracket challenge, did an excellent job showcasing the drivers that were in it, and it was just a really cool experience. I definitely enjoyed this a lot more than I really thought I was going to. Black flag, probably the amount of cautions that happened at the end of the race, where everyone just lost their mind, just got overly aggressive, and was just driving nuts. Definitely would have liked to have seen some of the fresh tire cars, see if they could have carved their way through the field and make it more interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just the reckless driving at the end.
All right, Tyler.
My green flag, honestly, is to Sonoma Raceway for putting actually on a decent rate, finally putting on a solid race after so many years, and just the solid racing, and to NASCAR for finally doing something reasonable to the road courses to make them more competitive, and also adding on the aggressiveness with the in-season challenge, but adding the more aggressive. I think, was it a softer tire, or did they do like a little bit harder tire? Because I know they changed the tire
I think it
compound.
was softer, right?
Yeah, it was a little
no
softer.
idea.
Yeah, they went with a little bit softer compound, which made the tires more a part of a strategy. But also because of Sonoma being hot and slick, it played into who had the better equipment, who was the better road course racer. Obviously SVG, but what I'm saying is you had definitely comers and goers, and plus if saw, especially like referring to Chase Elliott at the end, Chase Elliott went from, I believe, like 6th or 7th up to 3rd in like 4 laps. I don't remember where he was, but it was somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
he was
13th or
13th
9th.
after the first caution flag that rebunched the field, and then he drove all the way up into, I believe, 3rd place is where he finished.
Yep, top 3.
So he went 13th to 3rd in.
But that showed you that there was tire advantages, tire fall off, strategy. That's what it's all about, and I'm actually giving kudos to NASCAR for this, for coming up with an idea to help the road course racing better.
All right, Ty, how about you?
Oh,
I feel like I know what your green flag's gonna be.
Black flag before
sorry.
My black flag is honestly the TNT broadcast the last 2 weeks. What is going on, TNT? It had like, you guys didn't notice it either. TNT is
curious to see where you're going with this.
The camera angles. We missed a couple spins. They were focused on things and watched a couple spins that were not on camera. The shaky camera work and
watching the battle for 5th when SVG's coming to the line to take the win. Like we were watching the 5th place for like a full lap almost. Like we didn't want to see that.
Also, my complaint with HBO Max is I don't think I've once seen side by side on HBO Max.
Yeah, and honestly, HBO Max, we should be seeing more
side by side,
or less commercials, because it's a paid
right
streaming service versus TNT, which is a traditional cable network. So,
All right, Ryan, go ahead.
I was gonna let Ty go first.
Okay.
my bad.
So I'm gonna go green flag, something that wasn't talked about during the show. Riley Herbst and Xfinity in the JGR car had a phenomenal race. He finished third. I miss Riley Herbst doing that well. And if something happens to 2311, I hope that he gets that opportunity to show that he can work like that. He can drive like that. I'm excited for him. It really showed the potential that he does have and what he can do given the right circumstance. My black flag overall for the weekend is going to be all of the distractions. It's the 2311 and front row motorsports distractions. And something that wasn't mentioned was the Penske rumors in Austin Cindric, possibly next year or the year after.
I haven't heard anything about
I don't.
that.
Yeah, so Penske put a post on, I think it was X or something, about not being happy with something with the drivers, and the rumor has been that Penske wants to reopen their Xfinity program to prepare for Cindric when he leaves because Cindric's dad's not there anymore. It's a big distraction because it's not something that I really wanted to see over this weekend, and a lot of different names got thrown out with like Jesse Love getting poached, Carson Kvapil, a bunch of different people. It's not something I want to see because Cindric's been doing really well with what he's got, and that has absolutely nothing to do with his dad. It has to do with the position that he's in. He's showing that he's a very adequate driver, and Penske seems to be preparing to take it out on Austin for no reason. That's just the black flag. It's just all the distractions from race weekend.
All right. So for my green flag, I'm gonna give it to ironically, not trying to continue praising my guy, but the strategy and honestly the speed in the 71 car down the stretch there to turn what I thought was a terrible strategy call in the moment, which I don't know why they made that pit stop when they were not in the fuel window to make it to the end of the race. But ultimately, they were able to stay out long enough to catch the caution that ultimately let them get back on even tires with everybody else and actually led to a tire advantage late where they came from 15th to 4th right behind Chase Elliott. And given a couple more laps, who knows what could have happened. He could have even finished 3rd. But, and then for my black flag of the race, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Josh Berry and the move on Hocevar, mainly because, again, I can't point to a single incident that, because Hocevar's had his fair share of incidents, but I can't point to a single one where he actually wronged Berry specifically. So,
yeah,
that's going to be my black flag for the weekend.
All right. Last thing for tonight. Jamie and I both have some trivia questions. Jamie, you're up first.
Race picks?
Oh, yeah, race picks and then.
So let me go ahead and pull the wheel back up so that we can get our race picks in.
It is Dover, to mind you, for whoever's watching. It is the Monster Mile, Mile of Concrete, or whatever the hell you want to call it. The Monster Mile.
All right, so here we go. First spin, and it is gonna be Tyler. You're gonna have the first pick.
I'm going homeboy. I'm going fanboy. I'm going Chase Elliott.
All right.
all right.
Yeah. Second pick will go to. Hey, it's gonna be me.
Are you sure that's not rigged, Ryan?
Figures the ones who put their hats backwards in preparation are the ones that are last.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
I'll
I'm gonna take one of the in-season tournament drivers. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Ty
no, it's
Gibbs.
not gonna
He's been
work.
on a
Shit.
real roll the last month or so. Yeah, and I certainly wouldn't put it past him, especially with the motivation that he's got to outduel another good driver in Tyler Reddick in the in-season tournament to try and make it to the finals. I'll take Ty Gibbs.
That's a solid pick, actually. I respect that.
Yep. And then who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Jamie.
Hey. Well, as the local Delawarean going into Dover, I know a thing or two about Dover. And the one thing that I know is there is one driver who always seems to dominate, who always seems to love the hate. I am going with the villain, Dennis the Menace, Denny Hamlin.
All right.
Wow.
So we got 2 Toyota picks and a Chevy. Ty, you have the last pick of the night.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited. I just had the best driver fall right to me, Kyle Larson.
Oh, I thought you were
How are
going to
you
say
not
Ty
picking
Dillon.
Kyle Larson for Dover, guys?
I thought you
Oh
were going to
my
say Ty
gosh.
Dillon fell to you.
I went Hendrick. I was thinking either Kyle Larson. I was actually at the 3 Hendrick. I was thinking Larson, Chase, or Bowman. Those were my top 3 picks, but I decided to go Chase.
Kyle Larson, man.
Yeah,
The
y'all
reason
are sleeping on him.
I didn't go Kyle Larson because he's been struggling the last few weeks. The way he's been struggling.
Yeah, basically ever since the crash at Indy, he has not looked quite the same.
Yeah, but look at last year's race. Look at last year's
Oh, he
race.
dominated.
I mean,
All right, I
Yeah,
sent
I'm
those
not
to
saying
Gra-
it's a bad pick. I certainly would not be shocked to see him do very good this week. So,
All right, I sent Greg the picks. All right, it's trivia time. Go ahead,
Yep.
Jamie.
So Jamie,
All
we're
right,
going to start
so-
off with the obvious trivia pick for this weekend. What does Delaware?
Well, my trivia question is going to be a little bit of a left field trivia question
Okay.
because it's more about Dover Motor Speedway. Dover Motor Speedway is now the official home of the world's largest rubber duck.
Yep. Duck versus monster.
Yep, duck versus monster. How tall is said rubber duck?
I'm gonna guess like 30 feet tall.
Were you guessing, Ryan?
I'll say 35. I think Tyler is too short.
All right, and Ty?
And I think his guess is too short.
Ow!
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say 25. We'll say 25 feet.
You were all way off.
It's like 100-foot tall,
This-
isn't it?
This is the world's largest rubber duck. It is officially 60 feet tall and weighs
Wow.
15 and a half tons.
Okay, so
60?
I don't know, we're halfway there, but
60 feet tall. Holy
How tall?
crap.
How tall is Miles? How tall is
Like-
Miles Monster?
Well, I think
Not that
50
tall.
something. He's
Somebody
like
look that
40
up.
something.
Somebody look that up.
Miles is
I
probably
can't.
like 40, 45 feet.
All right. Now, I have a pretty and I think you'll know the answer to this one because I told Tyler.
Miles the monster is 46 feet.
46.
How
I
much?
said 45.
Yeah.
It's 46. So my question is, Dover Motor Speedway was opened in 1961 or 1960, yeah, in the 60s. It was originally asphalt from 1960 something to what year? What year did it turn to concrete? And who was the first winner on concrete?
I believe the first concrete race was probably in the 80s.
Okay. Is that your guess?
So, I'm trying to think of drivers who would have been good in the 80s. Let's go ahead and say 83 and Dale Earnhardt.
Okay.
I have absolutely no confidence in that pick at all.
All right, Jamie.
Can I go last? Because I think it's unfair
Okay.
that I'm from Delaware.
And I think you know the answer because I think I told you, Tyler.
You didn't tell me. You for sure didn't tell me.
Uh,
I want to say maybe Mark Martin, but I want to say it was like somewhere in the 90s. Maybe like 96. I don't know.
Yeah, if we're
Okay.
talking the 90s, I would
Jamie?
have probably said, I think that was kind of when Gordon kind of dominated the mile. Because didn't Gordon rack up a lot of wins at Dover in the pre?
Yeah, but I don't think he was the first. I don't think he was the first one. I want to say it's Mark Martin for some reason. We'll see.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll find out. Again, I think the concrete
All right.
conversion happened a lot earlier.
All right. Jamie, do you have a guess?
Well, I know it. Again, kind of unfair because I'm from Delaware, but
all right. So the answer is
Hold
1994
on,
is
hold on.
when.
I still get to answer.
No, you already know. You said you knew the answer. You can't do that.
No, it's not my fault. He asked a trivia question about my home track that I already know. So
Yeah, I mean, that'd be like him asking me who was the last driver to lead every
Well, hey,
lap.
1994. I'm changing my answer. 1994.
So
You can't change it in your
the
locked
track, the track turned into concrete in the winter of 1994 because it was a big thing. And so 1995 was the first race, and Kyle Petty won that race.
I didn't even know Kyle Petty won. I mean,
won
I know he won a couple of races,
Actually,
but
his
not
last,
nearly
his
enough to
actually
where
his
I would have
last,
guessed him for that.
win.
It was also one of the last 500-mile races at Dover.
Yep, and Kyle Petty's last race win.
All right.
Mark Martin won in 97, 98, 99. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
But you want the
See?
cool part before we end the podcast. The reason I believe the reason they moved over to concrete, I believe, was because the asphalt was being destroyed by the winters and the hot summers, and concrete's more durable. So they did the same thing with Bristol because of the same reason. And that's
Dover is Bristol's big brother.
Thank you guys for watching tonight. Thank you to all our podcasts, Handed Down Sports Media, Hard Count, Lap Down is us, Passing the Pigskin, and Hard Count actually starts in a couple weeks. Same with the Passing the Pigskin, Biscuits and Penalties, Handed Down Beatdown. Then we got what's in the last one? Oh, and Why Are We Here, which we started last week, and it'll be back this next weekend. Stay tuned. Thank you to our affiliate links, Circle B Diecast. Use our affiliate code down below for $5 off your next purchase. And thank you for all our affiliates. We'll be looking at more affiliates soon. Thank you guys for watching. Give a like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching this post live, leave a like, leave a comment. Check out all our social medias, YouTube or Twitch, Patreon. It's only $1. Check us out. Updates go up on Patreon weekly, and we use our Twitter weekly. Thank you guys for watching. You guys have a great rest of your night.
Deuces.
Deuces.